And we're back. We have lots of games to play, but I have to say the game that I want to ask about is a game that I finished over the holiday break, but I'm only bringing that up because of the way Danica brought it up in a message, which was that maybe Danica has found the Silksong for her. A little game called Constance. Danica, what's going on?
Yeah. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier.
I'm sold.
There's nothing for you to collect when you die, which makes it a million times easier. When you die, so Constance is, I guess, what people would call a Silksong-esque. Patrick played a bit of it during
just before
Steam.
the Thanksgiving break.
Yeah. But it's cool because there are multiple ways that you can get away from enemies. And I think for me, I didn't have that in Silksong. Like, I had to, run away, basically, or try to maybe jump over them. But in this game, there's the Splatoon skill where you can basically use your paint skill to, like, go underneath enemies. And it just makes fighting enemies a lot less scary. And also, when you die in that game, you have the option to either continue the run from where you're at and embolden the enemies, which I haven't done yet, Patrick, so you'll have to tell me how strong they get.
Something called the puppet's curse.
Yeah.
So if you die, I think it'll put you right outside of a boss area. If you're fighting a boss, or if you're just on a run and you die, you have the option to go back to the most recent shrine that you were at. Sort of a checkpoint bench situation, or they never explain it. It's just like, it's never tutorialized. It's just like you die, and it's like, I don't know, man, you want to give everybody in this world the puppet's curse? And it's like, what does that mean? And so eventually I picked it, and it allows you to go back in to where you were. So the room that you died, you'll start at the beginning of that room, and all the enemies have like this kind of white yellow line around them. They just basically, everyone gets a shield. They get a buff. And so an enemy that took 3 hits to take out maybe takes 5 hits to take out. But if you were in the midst of, like, I really wanted to get from this area to that area, and I know there's probably a shrine because they're pretty plentiful in the game, you can just hop back in. Or in my case, which frequently when I'd engage with it, was like, I'm doing some difficult platforming sequence, and I eventually screwed it up enough times that I lost enough health. And I don't want to go back to a shrine. That shrine is 2 minutes away. Sure, puppet's curse. It doesn't affect anything that's going on, but I get to start back in the room that I was in, which is a pretty fundamental difference between Constance and a game like Silksong, or what Silksong is pulling from, which is itself Demon Souls, which is like, hey, the run back to a death or a boss or what have you is an important part of the core loop, and Constance just gives you options on controlling that.
If I get frustrated enough times, I will rage quit. And this is well known about me. And I fell off of Silksong and I haven't picked it back up. I posted about this on my Instagram and someone was like, oh, but you're really close to this area. And I'm like, how do I get to this area? And she's like, you just have to get through this jumping puzzle. And I'm like, I guess I'll pick Silksong back up. No, I couldn't do the fucking jumping puzzle after an hour. I was like, I'm never playing it again.
It's because you got that diagonal thing still?
Yes, yeah.
The diagonals,
it's those flowers.
The diagonals
ass.
You don't have to do that. Don't go that way. Don't go that way.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what, Dan? Just leave it behind. You found Constance.
I've left it behind. Constance is so much less punishing because if I die, if I'm trying to get through a really difficult platforming area, I think a good example, there's like a big electricity area that you have to get through, that you have to like use specific skills. You unlock a skill, you use specific skills to kind of get through these electrified bits of of the map, and all the enemies are have this electric barrier on them, and I was having so much trouble, but it was so awesome because I wasn't losing my money or any of my belongings. So if I was getting too frustrated, I could just go somewhere else and do something else, and I didn't have to worry about going back and retrieving my belongings. So I think that's been huge for me. I'm like 4 hours in on that game, so I'm planning to finish it. I'm really liking it. Yeah.
If you're liking it so far, and you're sort of you find the difficulty curve to like work for you, you'll be able to finish the game. I finished it in 10, 11-ish hours. Not exhausting. I didn't even find 2 of the powers. There are like 2 secret powers that you can get as part of your arsenal that are kind of out of the way towards the end game. I never even found those. I ended up just beating the game and not feeling a particular desire to go back and find everything. Like, it has some really excellent secret platforming sequences that like really you don't have to do them. Like, there's no reason for Danica to ever have to touch any of those. You will encounter one, and like within moments you'll go, oh, this is for like Patrick and Janet.
Yeah, gotta go.
That's what that's for.
Danica.
I'm done.
And you'll do those to get, portions of a health upgrade, but you don't have to upgrade. You can beat this game just fine and like never do like health upgrade hunting, never do ink, which is your sort of like special meter that you're pulling from. Never do any hunting in that direction. I will say there were a couple things I was disappointed by, which it is on the shorter side, which I think is a positive.
That's good for me.
The reason I found I would criticize its length is not because I wanted it to be longer, but because I don't think it does enough with some of its more interesting ideas over the course of that experience. Like, so specifically, I praised the sort of Resident Evil style or survival horror inventory management for your skills, where you have these like kind of like different skills. Like an enemy has an extra chance to drop 2 currency orbs when you hit them, and like that takes up a certain slot that you can maneuver around in these areas, and you can over time unlock more of those areas to give you more room to breathe. And my thought was like, oh, because in Hollow Knight, like the whole badge system, like you're getting tons of different little perks you can equip on your character to change how they work, but you're limited by how many you can equip. I'm like, oh, so here they're going to do that limiting idea, but like I can, like, if I shift things around just right, I could probably fit 1 more on. I like barely unlocked anything to put on that board, and basically the ones I collected in the first couple of hours were the ones that I used at the end, and it just never fully explored that idea in any meaningful way. And I was disappointed that one of the more unique aspects of what it was playing with, from like sort of a, what kind of character build do you have, it just doesn't do very much with. But it's fine, because like the rest of the game, I think I described it as very good. I think I ended up at like pretty good by the end. It's very enjoyable. Like I had a really good time playing it. I don't know that I'll think about it very much after the fact, but it totally, like, Metroid style games, like, which obviously Silksong, like plays in that world. I never get tired of them. Like, as long as one hits like pretty good, the formula is one that I can just keep chugging. Like, it just does not matter. Like, it hits much like Chia and like a roguelike deck builder. Like, the bar is extremely low to be interested to find out what's happening. And for me, that's Metroid style games, or games that play in that space, and Constance is one of them. And I think it's a pretty good one of them. And it doesn't hit anywhere near the highs of Silksong for me personally, but it wouldn't shock me if you, Dan, I guess someone that bounced off Silksong, reached higher highs, because it actually lets you get to them.
yes, yeah. Because I didn't necessarily reach highs in Silksong.
Yeah, I don't think you did it all, for sure. Like, the most interesting parts of that game come later, in my opinion. I know some people will touch Silksong and be like, they did it again, and I'm like, let's relax. Like, it's a video game at first, and then it kind of grows.
Some people are on the call with us right now, and his name is
don't like to name names.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's good. Is it going to be in my top of the year? Who knows? I think once I finish it, I'll have a better idea. But it just feels, I wanted to play Silksong so badly after I was convinced. And I had a great time playing with Janet and Chia. And then when I was on my own, it was kind of like I was hitting wall. Like I was still playing on my own, and I would have like 1 to 2 hour sessions. But when I would hit a wall over and over and over and over, and kind of have nowhere else to go, and lose all my money, it was just getting a little bit too much for my rage quitting ass.
It's a good runner-up. Like if you looked at Silksong and were like, this is too much for me. I'm having trouble finding my way into it and having fun. I'm too frustrated. What I'll say about Constance is it's not a pushover. Like this isn't it's easier than Silksong, but I wouldn't describe it as easy. Like many of the boss battles, like sure, like by the 4th or 5th time, like I'd cracked the pattern and I'm not really getting hit as I like finish, but like it's really fun to crack the pattern. And like that's the thing I'll say about Constance. Like the boss battles are exceptionally well designed. Like they look beautiful. The mixture of action and puzzle solving and platforming are like done really well. Oftentimes there's more of a puzzle element to what's happening. And I mean explicitly puzzle. Like often Silksong bosses feel like a puzzle because you're trying to figure out what I can do, what I can't do in order to like get damage. Like I guess you could consider that a puzzle in a certain sense. But this is more like, what do I do? How do I do it? Like how do I do damage? And I found that very, very satisfying. And so if you like understand why people like Silksong but couldn't find it yourself, I do think Constance is like moves the bar a little bit lower while not like it's still like a really good game that's worth checking out. And I think you might be able to find your way through it if Silksong did not hit. So I echo the recommendation. I really enjoyed my time with that one as well.